Hi guys, Bano here. So we got more information about the upcoming rerun characters in 4.4 patch. So yeah, let's talk about them. First, I'm gonna talk about them, and then I'll explain if you should pull them or not. And if you guys are a new player, or if you are, recently started playing Honkai Star, well, some of these characters are pretty good, and you might be in a lot of trouble when it comes to picking these characters. Also, these guys, these are leagues, so they're also subject to change. So don't take everything, I say. So take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt. For the reruns, again, we don't know which order they're coming. They could be on first half or the second half. I have no idea. Okay, so the starting, we got Dan Hang PD, Sparkle, Evernight, followed by, again, I don't know which half they're coming, but we have Anaxa, Jade, and Adventuring. I think some of these characters are really, really meta when it comes to their relevancy, and some of them are kind of forgotten, especially Jade. I don't even know when Jade had a rerun. I think it's like almost close to a year ago, maybe 2 years. I know she had a rerun with Herda back when Herda dropped on 3.0, and after that, Jade did not have a rerun for a long time. And I don't think people are gonna pull on Jade because she didn't got any she didn't got any Nova Flare or anything like that, and without any of that, Jade is kind of weak. And the only team I even see Jade is with Herda, and Herda herself is struggling a lot. So yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna pull on Jade at least. And for the others, when it comes to Sparkle, I think we all know Sparkle is probably one of the top tier hyper carry supports right now. And if you didn't pull her, or if you didn't get her on the free selector like 2 patches ago, you might need her for certain teams, especially for Archer. She's like a must-have unit. And yeah, with Rin getting introduced on top of that, Archer is like one of the best hyper carry units, and he's also one of the best units for brute forcing content. So yeah, if you are interested in building Archer, or if you want to select Archer from the free selector and stuff, and you don't have Sparkle, pulling for Sparkle might be really well, especially with Rin. So yeah, if you're a new player, it's some tough decisions to make on the next patch. And talking about another free unit, Dan Heng PT is also gonna have his first rerun. He was a free character like 4 patches ago, I think, 4 or 3 patches. I don't know how long the free was, how long he was free, but he's a pretty solid shielder. I think he's the best. I think he's the second best sustainer right now after Hyacinth. He's probably the most valuable when it comes to sustaining. Okay, just to keep your team alive. He's like a comfy pick. But Huopo was also there, so, and she was also free technically. So yeah, Danny, I think his value isn't that high when it comes to Hyacinth. If Hyacinth is gonna be on a rerun banner next patch or something like that, I would rather get her than Danny. But if you like a comfy shielder, you could go for him. But like I said, there will be Hyacinth rerun in the future. On top of, there will be a Elation sustainer and another sustainer from Remembrance Path will be on the future. So before you pull for Danny, just keep that in mind, okay? All Danny does is keep your team alive, and outside that, he's not that strong. I think his attack buff is like decent, but yeah, when you're going for a pull Danny, just keep that in mind. There are other sustainers that are better than him and have more value in their best in slot teams like Hyacinth, and there will be future sustainers in the meta that might even beat a Danny when it comes to stuff. But if you like a comfy shielder that's not gonna get your team killed, you can pull for Danny. And Evernight, I don't even think I need to talk about Evernight. She is just strong. She's probably the better mono remembrance hypercarry right now. And when it comes to vertical investment, I think Evernight has one of the best vertical investment. She has one of the strongest E2. I think she probably has the second best E2 after Final. I think her E2 is like super strong too. But I don't know because I don't have both of their E2s, so I have no idea. I myself did not pull for Evernight because I never cared about mono remembers as a thing. I was like against this, so I didn't pull. Plus, I hate Hyacinth as a character, and you kind of need Hyacinth for Evernight to work. But overall, when it comes to meta, she is a strong pick. And last but not least, Adventuring and Anaxa. Personally, I will just skip Adventuring, but if you like him as a character, pull him. Anaxa is still a strong DPS, okay? The only problem is you have to invest on his teams, especially like Siraidra, E1 Siraidra, and if you can get E2 Cyrene, those are some huge power spikes for Anaxa. When it comes to Anaxa himself, his Lycon and his Eidolons aren't that strong, so you don't need to invest on him vertically, but his teammates like Siraidra and Cyrene, vertical investment will be better, so you can use him much more efficiently. At E0, he can clear endgame, okay? I'm not saying he cannot. He can still clear APOC. I did clear APOC with him, and he did got decent score. He can do Star Wars mode pretty decent too, but not the harder stage. I think he will struggle, especially when you use a sustainer on Anaxa team. He does lose a lot of damage, at least without any vertical investment on his team. If you invest vertically, he'll be fine, in my opinion. But if you like him, pull him. I don't think he's a bad character. I personally pulled him myself on his first rerun, and I didn't regret it, at least. So yeah, cool character. If you like him, pull him. But yeah, but top priority in my opinion should be Sparkle if you never pulled Sparkle and Evernight. Those two are probably the stronger meta picks. And Danny, like I said, there will be future sustainers that might replace him. So just keep that in mind when you're going for Danny, in my opinion. So yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a pretty hard patch for new players because there is Himeko Nova and Rin on top of it, and we all know how good those characters are. Even though Himeko did got a nerf, I think it's not that big of a deal because it only nerfed technically the wealth abusers, and outside wealth she still is good. Even without wealth, I have seen really good clears with Nova, Himeko Nova. And Rin, I think Rin will get nerfed on V3. But as of now, Rin is like a top priority pick. But the good thing about the Fate event is it's like a year-long event, so you don't need to pull her day one. But if you pull her on day one, you could use them on the end games and just shred every end game there is. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I think the top priority for the next patch, especially on the reruns, it should be Evernight and Sparkle. If you don't have Sparkle, if you have Sparkle, Sparkle does have really good verticals. Like her E2 is really strong. I think it's like 32% defense down if you can stack up. And Archer is really good at stacking that up. So just keep that in mind, okay? Sparkle does have some really good verticals, especially after the Nova Flares. And yeah. So these are going to be the reruns for next patch. It's going to include a Sparkle, Evernight, Danheng PT, Anaxa, Adventuring, and Jade. Please don't pull Jade. I know she's a cool character, but don't pull. She's not that strong. Trust me, okay? I don't want people to regret getting her. So she's not that good unless she gets a Nova Flare. I don't think she's gonna get Nova Flare anytime soon. So just keep that in mind when you're going for Jade. And that's it for today, guys. Like I said, if you're a new player, you might be struggling. Otherwise, I think it's more about vertical investment. If you want to invest vertically, if you're like a veteran player, E2 Evernight is strong, E2 Sparkle is strong. But if you don't care, you could also save up or just get the Fate characters and be happy. So yeah, that's the reruns for your next patch. And if you have hope you guys have a wonderful day, because I just got back from work and I'm making this video, so I'm a little bit tired. I don't have that much energy, so I'm just gonna eat something and go to sleep now. So have a great day, guys. Bye.